Hey folks, welcome to Maverick Gunworks. Today I've got something brand new out of the box that I want to show you how to fix it, hopefully. And if you run across a situation like this anyway, we got a couple of these to put in the shop or put in the store for sale because I have some folks asking about just an inexpensive, simple shotgun. That's what this is. This is an American Tactical, Nomad is what it's called, made in Turkey. And in the box, when you get the thing, the gun is folded in half. Basically, you got a hinge point here, and it's folded in half, so it's a more compact package to ship it. We took it out of the box, opened it up, I closed the chamber, and I said, okay, let's see how easy it is to open it up. So I grabbed hold of the trigger guard. Here is what you use to release the latch to open it. So I pulled the trigger guard back, and and it will not open. I said, what in the world is a brand new gun? That's crazy. Okay. I put the bucket, pull it back, let go of the latch, and it is locked up solid like it should be. But I said, daggone it, I know that's the way you do it. I looked at the book just in case I was doing something stupid. The book says exactly what I was doing. Pull the front of the trigger guard, pull it back, and the barrel should fold down, and it don't move. Okay, what's going on here? So when I pull it back, I see that it does loosen a little bit. I can see a slight gap here. Where the chamber closes, but it's not releasing all the way. What it amounts to, there's a locking lug in the bottom of the frame that locks on the bottom of the barrel. You pull the trigger guard back to release it. On some shotguns, a lot of American-made stuff anyways, you got a lever on the top that releases that latch. You got a button on the side that releases that latch. Well, this one is made a little differently in that you have to pull the bottom of the trigger guard backwards to release it. So I got looking at it really close, and I'm going to try to show you guys what is going on here. So I'm going to put it in a vise, so I don't have to keep holding it up. But what it amounts to is the latch, the trigger guard in this case, and the latch will not come back far enough to release it because right in here, the trigger guard, back of the trigger guard is hitting on the stock itself. This formed plastic stock is larger than the receiver right here. So when you pull the latch back, the back of the latch won't go back far enough to release the barrel latch. So I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to fix this without having to send it back to the factory or possibly take it back to the store, because we know the guys at the store are not going to fix it. Okay. And it's not that big a deal, but to me, it's probably a quality control issue that never should have been that way to start with. But fortunately, I believe we're going to be able to fix it without a whole lot of trouble. So what I'm going to do is remove the stock, and I'm going to use a file, or I may put this on the milling machine. We'll figure out what we're going to do with it. But we're going to cut out a little bit more material out of the back of this notch right here where the trigger guard moves, so that we get enough movement out of the trigger guard to release the latch. All right. So let's take a quick look at that. We're going to to do that, we're going to take our pad off our buttstock. We'll do that, just a couple screws here. Phillips head screwdriver is all you need. Alright. I know there probably are a lot of folks that may have a similar situation to this. I know these are a good starter shotgun especially for a young person, 20 gauge. Easy to operate, and not a lot of money for it. And there's the bolt that I'll put my light out. You can't see it, guys, with the camera, I know, but there's looks like about a 1/2 inch bolt head inside here that screws the stock onto the receiver. So I'm going to put my long extension in here with my 1/2 inch 13mm socket, and take that bolt loose. And just slide it off the back of the receiver. See, there's the bolt that holds the thing in. That's all there is to it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is we'll take a break here for a second, but I'm going to go back in here and take a little bit of material off the back, of the edge, so that my latch, my trigger guard latch, will pull further backwards. Now watch this. We don't have the stock in place right now. So I want to prove to you, by golly, that is the problem. If I pull this latch back, And now the thing opens up just fine. Okay, so that's all we got to do. Locks in place. It pulls back far enough now that it will open up. So we're going to remove some material on the back of the stock here, and take a break for a minute. I'm going to do that and come back and show you how it works like it should be. All right. Okay folks, we're back over here now at the bench, and I've just taken my Dremel tool and relieved a little material right at the back edge of where the stock runs into the trigger guard, and I took off maybe 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch of material right here. And we're going to stick it back on there and see if that's enough clearance for it. I believe it will be, because it didn't like much anyway closing it up. And I say I did it with a Dremel tool, and I cleaned it up with a file on the end. But you don't have to have a Dremel for that. It is plastic. It's not difficult to cut. My Dremel is just a little bit faster, is what it amounts to. But if you could do the same thing with just a regular hand file and work just as well. Rather than putting the bolt in, I'm just going to hold pressure on this so that I know it's as far as it'll go. I pull my bolt latch back. Let's see now. Yep. I think that'll work right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my bolt back in it now. And I find it's easier to drop this in the hole. And let's see, which hole is it? Okay. Drop this in downward. Let gravity work for me. I can get it in the hole just right. I'm going to say it will. Alright, there, golly. Come on. There it is. My bolt's, yep, the bolt's in the hole now. Slide the stock back up on it, right in place. I'm going to tighten this down. And keep in mind when you tighten this stuff, it is still plastic, so don't put a ton of force on it. You want it snug, but just like that. It is plastic stock. You can put a little too much pressure on it and break something, you know. Not like some of the other materials that this plastic is definitely modern day material, good for a lot of purposes. But you just got to be aware of what positions you can put pressure on and what you can't. And it's very solid in here. It's reinforced for that purpose. All right, I got my butt pad screws snug now. All right, now we can pull our latch back. And dang it, by golly, that works like it's supposed to now. Okay, so now I can pull my latch back, and the barrel folds down easy like it should. All right. So I'll tell you what. This is one we just finished. You saw us just do this one. All right. Pull my latch back and it opens up like it should now. And I can show you kind of, maybe the camera can see this. The gun's folded up halfway like that. So it's a really neat, compact package. But the parts we're talking about that lock the bolt, or lock the barrel rather in place, is the latch down in the bottom here. So that latch right there is what moves when you pull the trigger guard. If you watch that, I pull my trigger guard down and that latch moves. All right? But without the trigger guard having enough movement, enough free play, you won't go far enough to release the barrel. So that lug down here locks on the bottom of this lug on the barrel when it's closed. And that's all there is to it. All right? And a lot of single shot shotguns work this way, or very similar anyway. But here you go. Locks up tight, locks up solid. Pull it down, and now it's ready to go. And we've got another one here. This one is the exact same version, same model. I actually got these out at the same time. They're like one serial number apart. But this one we've not modified it, and you can see no matter how much I pull down on my trigger guard, the cotton picking thing will not move. All right. So if you have that situation with a American Tactical Nomad shotgun, there's something that may could help you fix it without having to send it back to the factory. All right. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Let us know if we can help you with something at Maverick Gun Works.